Imagine you're walking down a street in DC. There's cool shade overhead, birds chirping, a breeze moving through the leaves. Now imagine another street, same city, but this time scorching pavement, no shade, and not a single tree in sight. What makes the difference? Who gets to live in the shade and who doesn't? I'm Nia Arrington, and this is a plea to increase DC's tree canopy, especially in Black and historically disinvested neighborhoods. DC has a tree problem, and not everyone shares it equally. You'll find fewer trees in neighborhoods that are historically Black. That's not an accident. In 2021, a study in Nature Partner Journals revealed something many of us feel but rarely see laid bare. Neighborhoods graded poorly by the Homeowners Loan Corporation in the 1930s, mostly Black and brown communities, still suffer the consequences today. In DC, these neighborhoods have far fewer trees. This isn't by accident, it's the direct legacy of redlining and environmental racism. But what is redlining? Redlining is a discriminatory practice that puts services, usually financial services, out of reach of residents of certain areas based on race or ethnicity. Redlining is illegal. Evidence of redlining can be seen in the systemic denial of mortgages, insurances, loans, and other financial services based on location in that area's default history, rather than an individual's qualifications or creditworthiness. Notably, the practice of redlining is felt most by residents of minority neighborhoods. Redlining had a multi-level impact on the cities in the United States, and when you walk through DC, the tree cover tells that story. So do the maps that visualize why disparity exists and the current day effects of them. As we know now, racially biased housing policy existed and was written directly into DC's geography and informed how the city was built. This 1937 Federal Housing Administration map divided the metropolitan area into residential grades, ranking neighborhoods from most to least desirable based on explicitly racial criteria. The agency declared areas with significant Black populations like Berry Farm, Foggy Bottom, and Queen City had lived the span of their lives and were now very undesirable. These neighborhoods, most of them receiving the lowest grades, which were F or H, were earmarked for demolition, disinvestment, or overall clearance. FHA documents described these areas as Negro developments unworthy of investment, saying they were tending to become slums if they were not already. This HOC map grading aligned with how the FHA approved or denied loans, investments, and infrastructure. This included trees, parks, and green spaces. The results? A racialized landscape, literally. This was the U.S. government's policy: protect whiteness, devalue Blackness, and cut off Black neighborhoods from investment, including investment in housing, parks, and trees. Now here we'll compare the 1937 map to the current spatial patterns of wealth and the environment, meaning the tree canopy in Washington, D.C. As this contemporary map on the right shows, the neighborhoods that remained relatively wealthy over time are marked in dark green, are clustered west of Rock Creek Park, the same area that enjoyed the highest FHA investment due to their high grades. On the right, you can see that these same areas also enjoy the highest urban tree canopy. In contrast, Southeast DC, home to many communities that were historically redlined or displaced, not only remained relatively impoverished, but also suffer from significantly lower tree coverage. These overlapping maps show us that historical housing discrimination did more than just deny Black residents home ownership. It shaped long-term disinvestment in infrastructure, land use, and environmental resources. We can see that the areas that were once devalued by the Federal Housing Authority's grading systems are still struggling, while the neighborhoods that were protected and invested in now benefit from a wealth of ecological and health advantages, including shade, cleaner air, cooler pavement temperatures, and protection from extreme heat. So by now you might be thinking, okay, they're just trees. Why could they be that important in context of just one city? Well, trees are infrastructure. They regulate temperature, provide shade, improve the air quality, reduce energy costs, and even lower stress. A TED video explains how Singapore planted over 1.2 million trees. They even created super trees that have their own microclimates that overall have reduced air conditioning needs and even collect solar energy. Imagine if DC had done that in black neighborhoods instead of systemically disinvesting in them. To be fair, the city has made progress. In 2016, DC passed the Tree Canopy Protection Amendment Act, establishing the Urban Forestry Advisory Council and prioritizing tree preservation. Here's the problem. These efforts don't fully address how we got here. The law focuses on tree health, not canopy justice. And although the UFAC includes community members, most are government employees or appointed experts, not people from the neighborhoods most impacted. What I propose is expanding UFAC's membership to include more community voices, especially residents of neighborhoods with low tree canopy. In order to do this will require knocking on doors, holding public forums, and actively inviting people into a space they're traditionally kept out of. And even more than that, we need youth on this council, at least 2 high school-aged youth from impacted neighborhoods. Why? Because young people are outside more, impacted more, and excluded more from environmental policy spaces. They are also the descendants of those who were pushed out or redlined in the first place. Involving them means investing in their future and teaching civic engagement as a tool for healing. That's not just symbolic, it's strategic. Climate change is here, and it's not going to hit everyone equally. Tree canopy is a climate justice issue. With rising temperatures, urban heat islands are becoming deadlier, and they are worst in communities that were historically denied trees. If we don't intervene intentionally, we're repeating history. We're letting the racist decisions of the 20th century determine who gets to thrive in the 21st. That's something that we cannot afford. This is my call to action. The city of DC must act. We need to protect trees, but also plant trees. We need policies that repair, not just preserve. And it starts by making sure the people most impacted have the power to shape the solutions. We are a community, and communities must stick together. Here are 5 things you can do to join the fight to increase DC's tree canopy. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, we are stronger together.